Shalom. First and foremost, before I get started, I'd like to give all praises, honor, and glory towards due to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Chakwadash. And double honors as always to the apostles, bishops, elders of Great Millstone who are well and try to the truth. Let me make sure. Today's lesson will be entitled somewhere along the lines of More Violence is on the Horizon. More violence is on the horizon. And real quick, when you get that meaning of on the horizon, meaning of on the horizon, just imminent or become apparent, imminent, impending, close, near, approaching, at hand, just around the corner, looming. So, more violence, more uproars, more killings. All things are approaching, man, because these are the judgments of Yahweh Shem Yahshai that is coming upon this world, upon this earth, and we're already seeing more and more uproars of the people. And all this is prophecy that is to be fulfilled through Yahweh Shem Yahshai and His Word. So this is 2nd Ezra, real quick, 9 and verse 1. He answered me, then it said, measure thou the time diligently in itself. And how are we measuring the time diligently? Through the scriptures, through the Holy Bible, through the scriptures, man, through the words of Yahweh Shem Yahshai. That's how we're measuring the time diligently, and we're seeing the words of Yahweh Shem Yahshai coming to life. And it reads, continuing on, and when thou seest part of the signs past, which I have told thee before, then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made, and he is beginning to visit the world. And how is he beginning to visit the world? Through plagues, through death, through destruction, and it's only continuing to ramp up as we get closer. Real quick, when we're seeing the Lord Yahweh Shem Yahshai again, beginning to visit the world. 2nd Ezra 15 and verse 5. Behold, said the Lord, I will bring plagues upon the world, the sword, famine, death, and destruction. For wickedness hath exceedingly polluted the whole earth, and the hurtful works are fulfilled. So the Lord is beginning to visit the world through His judgments, man. He's putting forth His work, putting forth His judgments, putting forth His word, and everything is coming to life that the Lord Yahweh Shem Yahshai wrote and spoken of from the beginning. 2nd Ezra 9 and verse 3. Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world, then shalt thou well understand that the Most High spake of those things which from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. So the Lord from the beginning said that these things was going to come to pass, that they would come to pass. And we understand and know that the Lord is not a man that he should lie, nor the son of man that he should repent. Hath the Lord not said, and shall he not do it? So the Lord is beginning to do what he said he was going to do. He's beginning to work, and he's beginning to stir up the minds of these people to incite violence, to bring forth more uproars, more offense, more iniquity, man, more transgression. So it says again, because it said what uproars of the people, and we're seeing more and more uproars, man, especially with this thing that happened on September 10th, and is starting to look bad out here, man. The people in what we're seeing right now, this could be, something that kicks off more prophecies, man, more violence. Because they're already saying, I was watching Redacted just now, and he was going into how there's a lot of copycats that's trying to do the same thing that they did on September 10th. A lot more threats, a lot more incitings, a lot more calls to violence to do the same thing that happened on September 10th to other individuals that it was like-minded of that individual that it happened to us on September 10th. And, we got to speak in code because, we're coming to the times where the people, the devil is starting to crack down more on what you say, how you say, when you say, and where you say. So everything that we're saying, has to be in code for the most part. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, September 10th, 2025, then look up events that happened on September 10th. And these things are going to happen more and more. That wasn't the last. That sure was not the last, man. So it says, so that was it on that. Let's get this real quick in Matthew 24 and verse 12. And because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. And we're seeing a lot more friends fighting against friends, family fighting against family. And, just because of, their beliefs of what they believe, what they think, what they say, what they do. One can be on this side and the other can be on that side, and they hate each other because of their beliefs that they have for the system or how the system should be operated. And that can incite more and more violence, and that will incite more and more violence because Egyptian will be against Egyptian. Isaiah 19, and we believe that Donald Trump is that cruel Lord in Isaiah in the 19th chapter. Let's see, I wanted to get the point. Was it verse 1? Verse 2. Isaiah 19 and verse 2. And I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians, and they shall fight every one against his brother, and every one against his neighbor, city against city, and kingdom against kingdom. So we're coming to the time where these modern day Egyptians, these Americans, these Babylonians, they're going to start fighting against each other, man. And we know that a city that is divided against itself, a kingdom that is divided against itself, cannot stand. And when you get that same verse in the NLT, it speaks of civil wars. As we're going to read Matthew 12 and 25, Yahushua knew in the NLT, Matthew 12 and 25 in the NLT, Yahushua knew their thoughts and replied, any kingdom divided by civil war is doomed. A town or family splintered by feuding will fall apart. And we're seeing this kingdom being divided, and it's going to incite more and more violence. And we just seen that movie, last year come out called Civil War. What kind of American are you? And then we're coming to the time like no other, man. More and more violence is on the horizon. It's looming. It's imminent. It's written, man. You're going to have families fighting against one another, neighbors fighting against one another, towns fighting against one another, and states, governments fighting against one another, man. People fighting against one another. Verse 26 in the NLT, and of Satan is casting out Satan. He is divided and fighting against himself. His own kingdom will not survive. And the kingdom of America will not survive. The kingdom of Esau Edom will not survive, man. Second Ezra 15, back in 15, verse 14. I feel like I'm about to sneeze. Second Ezra 15 and verse 14. Woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword and the destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands. And then what is the modern day sword? Guns. And we're seeing that Trump just deployed the National Guard to Memphis as well. So it's only going to get worse, man. It's only going to get worse before it gets better. And the only time it gets better is in the kingdom of heaven. When the kingdom of heaven is established and Yahushua returns, that's when it gets better. But until then, America's not going to get better. This world, this society, as it stands, is not going to get better. It's going to get worse. Second Ezra 15 and verse 16. For there shall be sedition among men and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, in the course of their actions shall stand in their power. A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. And we're coming in these times, man, to where Trump is going to continue to bring forth that great wrath, as it says in Revelation 12 and 12. Coming down coming down with great wrath because he knows that he has for a short time. Verse 18. For because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. Great tribulation is coming to this society and is going to cause more and more violence to ensue. We're right at the end, man. This is at a point in time that it speaks about in Habakkuk 2. For the vision is for an appointed time, but at the end it's just speaking not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come, it will not tarry. This is happening right before our very eyes, man. And we believe that this is the generation that the Lord Yahweh Shem Yahshua said that these things will come to pass and bring about the end of this wicked and ungodly and wretched society, man. So that was really the point. Let me jump over to the 16th chapter. Then I'm going to hit the road. 2nd Ezra 16, verse 17. Woe is me, who will deliver me in those days? The beginning of sorrows and great mournings, the beginning of famine and great death, the beginning of wars, and the power shall stand in the fear. The beginning of evils, what shall I do when these evils shall come? And this is only the beginning, man. And it's only going to get worse as we get closer and closer to the end. Because as you read, when you jump down to what verse 37, it's only going to get worse. And what it say that this is only the beginning, and as we get closer and closer to the end, it's only going to get, those birth pains is only going to get worse. That violence is only going to get worse. That death is only getting more and more worse, more consistent. The famine is going to get more consistent. The pestilences are going to get more consistent, more worse. And if you don't have that hedge of Yahweh Shem Yahshai, you will not be protected during that time. 2nd Ezra 16 and verse 37, behold, the plagues draw nigh and are not slack. And we just read in 2nd Ezra 15 what the Lord said, a few of the plagues that he said he was going to bring upon earth. Behold, what it say, thus say the Lord, he will bring plagues upon the world, the sword, famine, death, and destruction. And so the plagues are drawing nigh. They're not going to be slack. They're not going to tarry. They're not going to slow up, but they're going to increase, man. Verse 38, as when a woman with child in the 9th month bringeth forth her son, with 2 or 3 hours of her birth, great pains compass her womb, which pains when the child cometh forth, they slack not a moment. They don't slow up. So these pains that we're coming into, the end that we're coming into, is not going to slow up, but it's going to speed up, man. Verse 38, 9, even so shall not the plagues be slack to come upon the earth, and the world shall mourn, and sorrow shall come upon it on every side. So, as it says, man, the world shall mourn and sorrow shall come upon it on every side. So I'm going to hit the road. So it's only going to get worse, man. Because this is what the Lord Yahweh Shem Yahshua ordained to happen. He didn't ordain for it to be, sugar, spice, and everything nice, cupcakes going into the kingdom, man. It's not going to be easy. And it won't be easy. And, this is the words of the Lord Yahweh Shem Yahshua. As it says in Isaiah 55, going into the words of the Lord Yahweh Shem Yahshua are not void, and we're not returning to him void, but it will accomplish that which he pleased and will accomplish everything that he said, roughly paraphrasing. And we got to go through this, man. Violence is on the horizon, and there's no way for us to just, stay in the background and avoid the whole thing. No, we're going to be in the midst of all this. And then as we're in the midst of all this, we got to move circumspectly. Speaking of myself first and foremost, it's getting more and more evil. Watching what you say, how you say, what you say, when you say it. Just don't say nothing at all, man. When it comes down to it, somebody starts talking politically, just say I'm not a political person. Somebody starts trying to ask for your opinion. I'm not political. I don't feel comfortable talking about that type of stuff. And you're not into it, because the scriptures say to be wise as serpents and harmless as doves. And as we get closer and closer to the end, we got to be more and more wise. Got to be, like that serpent, man, wise, harmless. Just play dumb. Let them have it. You got to, speaking to myself, you got to let the people have it, man. Yeah, you got it. Because these people are on edge. Especially with what happened on September 10th. A lot of these individuals are on edge. They're ready to crash out at the slightest inconvenience, the slightest inkling. They're ready to crash out, man. And you don't know how they're going to react. You could say one wrong thing. You could say something that may have been right to him, may have been right to somebody else, but to him, he didn't like what you said. And then he goes to his car. He said, "Oh, okay." He acts normal, but then he goes to his car, grabs something from the back seat, and then pulls it out. You never know, because these are the times that we're literally living in, man. These are the times that we're living in, and we have to be circumspect, alert, on the watch, watching what we say, man. Because more and more violence is coming to this society. It doesn't end here. We have to go through these things, as it says in Acts 14:22, confirming the souls of the disciples and exhorting them to continue in the faith, and that we must, through much tribulation, enter into the kingdom of the Most High. So these are the things that we must go through. And as we go, that just don't mean that you just act any way you want. No, there's a way that you walk, a way that you talk, a way that you conduct yourself while in the midst of this darkness, amongst the crash out culture, man. These people are ready. These people want to. These YNs, they want to. They're ready for you to do something, to say something, even just look at them wrong. So mind your business. Mind your business. Stay out the way. Be quiet. Because we are entering into very dangerous times. And the Lord Yahweh Shemi Ashai is not going to protect those who aren't listening to his words and taking heed to the message and doing what is required and being wise as serpents and harmless as doves. Why would the Lord protect somebody who isn't being wise, who isn't being harmless? You brought this on yourself. Don't bring the judgment on yourself. Don't bring blame to the ministry. Don't give this devil more ammunition than he already has to come up against you, to blame you, and to come up against the ministry, man. So Lord willing, this lesson was edifying to the spirit, to the body, and to the fold. And before I end it off, I'd like to give all praises, honor, and glory to where it's due to Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai Bahashem Chakodash. Double honors as always to the apostles, bishops, elders of Great Millstone who were well and who taught us this truth. Until next time, Shalom.